Hello, my friends. Time again. Romeo and Juliet. So remember yesterday? Well, firstly, remember yesterday I had problems with the computer. I have followed Dylan's tech advice, and I hopefully have resolved it all. Anyway, let's get straight on with it. Romeo's crept into the party. Remember? They're wearing masks, and Romeo was being convinced by Benvolio to go. Benvolio saying, "Go on, look at the other girls. You'll find there's plenty more fish in the sea." And Romeo's gone because he fancies Rosaline. Juliet is at the party. They don't know each other. Juliet is there because she may get married to Paris, the Count, and so she's going to have a little look at him. Romeo goes to the party. He's got his mask on, but Tybalt recognises who he is. Tybalt's the psycho, and goes to Capulet, basically saying, "I want to attack him now." And Capulet says, "Don't, this is my house, you're not going to wreck my party." Tybalt at the end of the last scene, he says, "I'm going to get him back. It seems nice now to be in this party, but I'll make him pay." Alright, so let's crack on, because straight into it, Romeo and Juliet meet. Notice, drama students, the lack of directions, stage directions. Tybalt leaves, exit, and then bang, we're straight into Romeo talking to Juliet. Now, when it comes to you staging this, that of course means you've got a lot of scope to do it however you want. Yeah, there's no description of how he arrives to see her. So if you look at the Zeffirelli film, which you probably will do in English, you'll see the scene where they're all dancing around, and he sort of creeps around the edge of the dance and holds her hand, and that's the key thing you have to be able to do. He touches her hand at the start because he makes reference to it in the text, but up to that, it's up to you. So Zeffirelli did it that way. Baz Luhrmann in the sort of modernised version, they see each other through a fish tank. You could do it however you want. There's a chance to be original, but he does approach her and he holds her hand. Remember, he said before, introducing this bit now, that my hand is unworthy, so hopefully she'll bless me, my unworthy hand, when I touch hers. And so he's now touched her hand. He held her hand. This sonnet, this bit now is a sonnet. So the bit where Romeo and Juliet speak for the first time is written as a sonnet, which is a 14-line poem with a very strict rhyme scheme. It's A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, and then G, G, rhyming couplets at the end. It's a traditional format of a love poem. Now, Shakespeare's audience at the time would recognise that and understand that, and therefore Shakespeare is sending a message through the language and the formatting of the play, that this is a romantic love moment. So he's deliberately done that. It's complex, which immediately, I think, shows that they're on the same level. They're immediately understanding each other. They get each other. Shakespeare, again, through format, trying to show the really close link between these two characters. Because Romeo will come in. Well, firstly, Romeo will come in and take a gamble. 4 lines into talking to a complete stranger, he's offering to kiss her. Direct. Route 1, romancing. And of course, she could just kick him in the between the legs and walk away, couldn't she? But she joins in and sort of teases him a bit. So it shows they're both of a mind. They both straight away are attracted and have things in common and personality in common. But also he uses quite extended metaphor, and she jumps in and joins in with it, which again, Shakespeare trying to show us these two have got great sort of a bond, closeness between each other. Romeo comes in with his idiosyncratic sort of individual style of speaking and his complex images, and Juliet immediately slots in and joins in with it. So he's trying to show there is a proper bond between them. Yeah? Pardon me a sec. The imagery, the main imagery, is that we've sort of been introduced to this with the idea of him not being worthy. Juliet's a saint and he's a sinner. Now in those days there'd be a lot of people often show their Christian faith by going on a pilgrimage, where they would walk to a holy site, and then that often would be where a saint was buried, a tomb of a saint, and they would then venerate it And that would be a difficult challenge, because that's the idea, isn't it? You know, pilgrimage should be a challenge to show your faith. Other people would help them on their way. They would often wear a palm leaf, symbol of Palm Sunday, on their clothes, pinned onto their clothes to show they were pilgrims. So pilgrims were often called palmers. So watch out for that. Palm leaf, palm of your hand. Yeah? He holds her hand using his palm. You pray by putting your palms together. Palm leaf. Yeah? The two of them will really work that triple meaning of the word palm. So yes, that people go on pilgrimage, people would help them, they'd put them up for free for the night because they could see that they were a palmer. So Romeo is saying he's a pilgrim, making a pilgrimage to Juliet because she is a saint, because she is so perfect and beautiful. So shall I crack on? I think I should. Right, Romeo says to her, if I profane with my unworthiest hands this holy shrine, the gentle fine is this. My lips to blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. So if I've dirtied your holy shrine, you are like a shrine, you are holy in yourself, with my unworthy hand, then I will make it better. My lips are pilgrims, blushing pilgrims, they're shy, they're red, ready to smooth that touch with a tender kiss. So I will kiss it better. Oh man, this guy's flirty. So what does Juliet do in response? Will she rip into him and say, get away from me, you weirdo? Oh no. She plays along. But she teases him a bit. She doesn't say, oh yeah, mister, you can have a kiss. She teases him. Good pilgrim, so she's accepting. You're a pilgrim. I'm playing along with this. Good pilgrim. You do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss. So she says, oh no, don't criticise your hand. So he's there, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have touched you with my hands, can I touch you with my face instead? And she's like teasing him, saying, your hands aren't that bad, it's okay for hands to touch, yeah? So like teasing him a bit, yeah? Because saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, so it's okay. And palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss. Praying is how you show love and respect to the saint. So she's sort of saying, oh, you don't have to put your lips on mine, you can just put your palms together and pray to me. Romeo, oh man, she's teasing me along here, gotta try and think of another way around it. Have not saints lips and holy palmers too? Couldn't we also use lips, perhaps? And she says, aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer. You do use your lips to pray. So Romeo now says, yeah, well, you know, my hands together are praying, so lips together can be praying too. So then, oh then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair. Or let my lips do the praying. Yeah? Juliet. Oh, I've not been pressing my little buttons, have I? Sorry. Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake. So she's kind of she gives him the sort of green light. Okay, you can pray to me. Then move not while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips by yours my sin is purged. And they kiss. So, it's a cute little image. They work it together and he kisses her. This is fast moving, isn't it? Eh? Fair play. Can I point out again that they, well, you see just in the last bit there, they often rhyme with each other. Sake, take, again, Shakespeare, through language format, showing that they are compatible and they are meant to be together, sort of thing, because they immediately think the same way. Yeah? And then Juliet, teasing Mama, says, now after they kiss, then have my lips the sin that they have took. Oh no, now that I've taken the sin off your lips, they are mine. Oh dear, how can we fix that? Sin from thy lips, oh trespass sweetly urged. Give me my sin again, I'll take it back. So he kisses her again. Aye, we're on to something here. Juliet pays him an Alan Partridge style compliment. If you don't know Alan Partridge, I insist you stream all episodes of I'm Alan Partridge by the time we get back to her school. She says, "You kiss by the book, yeah? Textbook, quality kissing." Yeah? He's spot on. And they are now interrupted. The nurse suddenly turns up out of nowhere. "Madam, your mother craves a word with you." What is her mother? Not in that sense, what, meaning who. Not like, is her mother a human? Is she some sort of rodent? No, what? Who is her mother? "Mary Bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked with all. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks." So she's the woman of the house, she's Lady Capulet, that's Capulet's daughter that you're chatting up, son, and the person who can lay hold of her will have lots of cash. Oh ho ho ho. Romeo, horrified, says to himself, "Is she a Capulet? Oh dear account, my life is my foe's debt." Already he's talking about her as his life. I suppose we have already shown that he has a tendency to hurl himself head over heels in love, doesn't he? But wow, she is my life, but my enemy, my foe, own my life now. Because I love her so much, but she's on the other side. Uh-oh. Benvolio comes on. "Away, begone. The sport is at its best." The party is sort of fizzling out now. "Aye, so I fear. The more is my unrest." Capulet, interesting little side thing here. So actually Capulet, who knows they are Montagues, tries to keep them. He's trying to keep the party going. The party is sort of fizzling out. People are leaving. "Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling, foolish banquet towards." Is it even so? So he's there. Come on, stay, guys, stay. Come on, guys. Doesn't work. Don't really need that much. This is the key bit. Everyone's leaving. And Juliet says to her nurse, "Come here, the nurse. What is young gentleman?" Again, who's he? Our nurse, of course, always dokey. Looking at the wrong person as they're all leaving. "Oh, that's the son of heir of old Tiberio. What's he that now is going out the door?" "Marry, that I think be young Petruchio." "What's he that follows there that would not dance?" "I know not." "Go ask his name." And then this next bit is said to herself, "If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed." So wow, you've seen Romeo talk about my life is my foe's debt, Juliet is my life, and now Juliet, I mean, again, very instant reaction. If he's married, then I will die unmarried. My grave will be my wedding bed. I will never get married because that is the only man I want. Again, remember what I said yesterday, it's a lovely, cute, romantic love story, but do they jump in a bit too swiftly? They've just met each other and they're both automatically saying, this person is the person I will spend my entire life with. Nurse comes scuttling back. His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy. So now she knows as well. And Juliet again. It's all mirroring each other, isn't it? Is that also Shakespeare showing us how similar they are? They go through the same emotions even afterwards, because she then makes a similar speech to that my life is my foe's death speech, which was line that Romeo said. She says, "My only love sprung from my only hate, too early seen, unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy. Oh no, the only person I love has come from the only thing I hate. This is such bad luck." The nurse hears her. What's this? Excuse me? Did you just say what I thought you said? And then Juliet just manages to pass it off. "Oh, it's a rhyme I learned even now of one I danced with." Or yeah. No, it's someone I was dancing with taught me that rhyme. Nurse falls for it. Someone's calling Juliet anyway. No, come on, strangers all are gone. So they go. Okay, now then. So, we have a situation on our hands, don't we? Let's get to Act 2, Scene 1. Crazy. So, Romeo has... Oh, that's dangerous. I mean, this is the Capulet's house. Oh, stream dropped out. I don't think that's anything to do with the problems we had yesterday. We seem to be back in now, I hope. So yeah, you haven't missed anything if you just dropped out then. Romeo's left, but he's jumped back in over the wall. He wants to see Juliet again. This is highly dangerous. Benvolio and Mercutio are there, and they're looking for him. Romeo, my cousin Romeo. He's wise, and on my lie I've stolen him home to bed. He's gone, mate. He ran this way and leaped this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio. Nay, and then Mercutio just being daft. I'll conjure too. Like I'm a magician, I'll make him appear out of nothing. Romeo, humour's madman, passion, lover. And they're taking the mick out of him, isn't he? Because, oh yeah, he's supposed to be this romantic guy who fancies say beautiful poetry. Speak but one rhyme and I am satisfied. Cry but I me, pronounce but love and dove, yeah. Make some stupid rhyme and poem. Speak to my gossip Venus, one fair word, one nickname for her purblind son and heir. Young Adam Cupid, he that shot so trim when King Cophetua loved the beggar maid. He heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. The ape is dead, and I must conjure him. Romeo's an ape. He can't hear me. I've done a magic spell. I've called him to come in the name of Cupid. He's not turned up. So he now tries to conjure him up by Rosaline's beauty. God doesn't know. Rosaline's in the past, isn't she? I conjure thee by Rosaline's bright eyes, by her high forehead, and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the domains that there adjacent lie. Getting rude now. I summon you by her beauty and also her rudeness, that in thy likeness thou appear to us. Yeah, you look like that to us. If he hear thee, thou wilt anger him. Benvolio is always the sensible one. Calm down, Mercutio, you can't do that. He's he'll be angry if he hears you say that. This cannot anger him. 'Twould anger him to raise a spirit in his mistress's circle of some strange nature, letting it there stand till she'd laid it and conjured it down, so it'd make her angry if I had sex with Rosaline. That was some spite. My invocation is fair and honest, and in his mistress' name I conjure only but to raise up him. Yeah, I'm not trying, man. I'm trying to get him. So Benvolio said, I'll give up. Come, he hath hid himself among these trees, to be consorted by the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark. He's just always joining in with the jokes and picking up words people say and taking it in a different way. So he's talking about love hitting the mark. Cupid with an arrow trying to hit the target because it's too dark. If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Now will he sit under a medlar tree and wish his mistress were that kind of fruit as maidens call medlars when they laugh alone. Romeo, that she were, oh, that she were an open, etc., though a popper in pear. Romeo, good night, I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go? Go then, for 'tis in vain. To seek him here, that means not to be found. Yeah, but Benvolio, yeah, he's hiding. He doesn't want us to find him. They still think he's moping about, don't they? So they clear off. Romeo's on the other side of the wall listening, and says, he jests at scars that never felt a wound. Yeah? He's making fun of me because I'm in love. But he's never felt that. He's never felt the wounds, the love's arrow. So he's making fun of something he doesn't understand. And then Juliet appears at the window. Here comes the balcony scene, chaps. Tea. And remember I said that Romeo, he talked rubbish, as Mercutio just pointed out, when he was talking about Rosaline. Now he's a poet, and he makes this long speech while hiding in the bushes, admiring Juliet, who does not know he's there. Yeah, so she comes out into the balcony. So obviously, the doors open, the light from outside comes into the night. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Remember, continuing these images of bright and beauty, she teaches the torches to burn bright. We had the contrast of dark and light, the dove trooping with crows. And now here, she is the sun. She lights up the garden. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off, yeah, remove the light of the moon, you are better than the moon. It's my lady, oh, it's my love, oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing, what of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I'm too bold, 'tis not to me she speaks. So he wants to reveal himself and then thinks, no, about that. And then this imagery again of brightness and beauty, her eyes are the two brightest stars in heaven. two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. So her eyes are like the two most beautiful stars in heaven. And then what if her eyes were in heaven and the stars were in her eyes? Well, her eyes would be better and brighter than those stars and would lighten the night sky so much that birds would start singing because they think that it's daytime. And then again, she leans her cheek upon her hand. I wish I was a glove on that hand, that I might touch that cheek. Juliet starts talking to herself. Ay me. She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven, unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air. So, speak again, he says to himself. You're like an angel. I'm looking up at you like an angel from the heavens. All this heavenly language, stars, angels, yeah. And now comes the famous line, which is always misunderstood. When I was a kid, constantly like comedies and stuff where people would do this balcony scene and say, "Wherefore art thou Romeo?" And they think it means, "Where are you, Romeo?" It does not. Wherefore means why. So Juliet now will ask, "Why are you Romeo? Why do you have to be Romeo? Of all those people that I could fall in love with, why does it have to be you? Why are you Romeo?" Yeah? So wherefore art thou Romeo? I just want to point out quickly, I suppose, maybe I should have said at the start of the scene. Shakespeare would... No, I'll start again. In Shakespeare's time, stages tended to be... Well, they were often designed to have like a sort of runway jutting out into the crowd. And Shakespeare used these very skillfully because he'd often write soliloquies. A soliloquy, when one person speaks, they think they're alone or they are alone. Now, the idea of a soliloquy is it shows us what's going on in the character's mind. Romeo's, although Juliet's there, really that's a soliloquy. He is speaking to himself. So obviously in real life, you just hide in the bushes and think those things, but he says them out loud so the audience can understand it. And that's where the runway comes in. You put your actors right in the middle of the crowd and have these sort of private moments where they're sort of speaking out loud. And it really brings home to the audience the sort of reality of it all. You know, this guy is right next to me speaking his mind. So quite an effective trick to use in the theatre, quite good staging. Juliet now, of course, is making a soliloquy. She does think she's on her own. So Shakespeare, in this sense, sometimes soliloquies can be used just to reveal a character's feelings. If you write a book, you can write it in the first person and you can show the character's feelings. A play can't do that, but Shakespeare uses the trick often of soliloquies showing feelings. I know he's done that with Romeo, he will do it now with Juliet. There's a second reason for this soliloquy by Juliet as well, of course. It's a dramatic purpose. Romeo's going to hear what Juliet thinks of him, and if you will, gain the advantage and maybe gain the courage to actually say something to her. So, Juliet, speaking, she thinks to herself, "Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet." Yeah? So, why do you have to be a Montague? Drop out the family, refuse your name, defy your father, and or if you won't, I'll leave the Capulet family. Now, Romeo's now realising, I'm onto some good stuff here. Oh, sorry, wrong way around. Yeah, shall I hear more or shall I speak at this? Oh, should I jump in? Come on, what's he going to do? He's going to listen to her a bit more. And she carries on the same theme. "'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague." What's Montague? It's nor hands, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name, which is no part of thee, take all myself. So yeah, not realizing Romeo's listening to this, Juliet saying, oh, Romeo, you know, I mean, Montague, it's just a name. It's not real. It's not a hand or a foot or an arm or a face. It's not real. It's just an idea. So it doesn't matter. So be some other name. And then she says, what's in a name? What's the purpose of a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Yeah? You call the roses roses and they smell lovely. If we called them stink blossoms or Albert Einstein's tongue, it would still smell exactly the same. Names are not important. So Romeo, doff thy name, take your name off, and then take all of me. Yeah? If you stop being a Montague, you can have me. Romeo decides this is the moment to step in. I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo. Yeah? So Romeo's, okay, I will. I'll stop being Montague. Juliet's jumping out of her skin. Now there's some weirdo in the garden. Oh, what man art thou that dost screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel? You know, what the hell? What sort of person are you? Listen to my thoughts. By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word. I can't answer that question with a name, because I don't want to say my name, because you hate my name, so I hate it as well. I would rip my name up if it was written down on a piece of paper. Juliet now, working out who it is. My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo, and a Montague? Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike. How camest thou hither, tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art. If any of my kinsmen find thee here, yeah, how do you get here? You'd be killed if my family find you. With love's light wings thy o'erpurge these walls, for phony stimits, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do that dares love attempt? Therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me. Yeah, I just flew over the wall on love's wings, because nothing can stop love. If they do see thee, they will murder thee. Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity. So I don't care, I'm safe if you look at me. As long as I'm looking at you, I'm happy. I would not for the world they saw thee here. I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight, but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love. So he says, look, it's night time, I can hide from them. And also, as long as you love me, just let them find me. I don't care. I'd rather be killed by them than not have your love and just have a life that's not worthwhile. Oh, idiot. But again, that massive, explosive sort of love, the almost self-destructive, I'll do anything for you. Yeah. By whose direction foundst thou out this place? How did you find it? Oh, of course, love showed him, didn't it? By love, who first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as fair as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise. Yeah, I'm not a pilot, a captain of a ship, an explorer, but I would travel to the furthest shores to reach you. Yeah. It's 1:30. I guess I better stop, hadn't I? Okie dokie. Well, I think the technology kind of worked today, thank goodness. So I'll see you tomorrow, chaps. 10 o'clock, same time, same place, same channel.